highly.
So it's the beginning of day 3. Yesterday was just crazy, like I talked about in another video where I was talking about the movie Vicious. If you want to hear me talk more about what yesterday was like, definitely go check that video out. But yeah, it was just exciting, overwhelming. Like, there's so many people, so many things to do. But in this video, I want to talk about Shelby Oaks, which is Chris Stuckman, his first release, his first full-length, feature film release. But he is a YouTuber, if you're not familiar with. He's one of the pioneers of reviewing movies on this space. He's got over 2 million subscribers, but he's just been so influential to anybody that reviews movies, regardless if you're a fan of his or not. He's been very important on this space when it comes to talking about films. But he started this movie in motion back in 2021, I think. Or I guess he actually started at first talking about it in like 2019 or 2020. But we heard about it in, I think, 2021 or 2022, we as in the public. And so I've been really a big supporter of him in this movie ever since he first started talking about it, because he did it all grassroots. I mean, he didn't have a studio behind him. He did this all independently, and he ended up getting on with an indie studio, getting some funds from that, but wasn't going to be able to do anything close to what he wanted to do. So he ended up doing a GoFundMe, and that ballooned and became the highest, I believe, at least at the time, the highest grossing or most profit or whatever, most raised for an indie movie on that platform that's been ever done. So it's been a really cool story to follow, and I've just been excited to see what he could do. I personally am a fan of his channel and a fan of the way he does things. I understand where he's coming from, and I know there's been a lot of people that throw hate his way because of things he's done since he started making a movie. He has stopped being critical of movies, and that's a whole nother discussion I'm not going to get into here. I'm just going to talk about his movie. And I went in not expecting much. I saw the trailer. It looked all right. It looked interesting. I wasn't blown away. I'm not going to lie. Like, just based on the trailer, it looked like it was going to be a decent movie, but it wasn't, something that I felt like was going to blow my socks off or anything. But I've been looking forward to this for a long time, because they first announced that it was going to be released in like 2023, I think. And then I talked about it again in 2024. And like every year for the last like 3 years, I've talked about it as my most anticipated movie of the year kind of thing, because it's been this thing that's been out there and we've been excited about it as far as fans of indie horror. But for different reasons, it kept getting pushed back. And then eventually it got picked up by Neon and finally got an official release date. It will be in theaters in October, I think October 19th, but definitely in October. And so we're finally getting to see it. So I was anticipating this, but also not expecting necessarily a game changer or anything like that. And I know some people are expecting really great things from this movie because it has Mike Flanagan attached to it, because he got on board helping, like with mentoring really more than anything, but also because his company got involved in helping this, be released and all of that. So when you have a name like Mike Flanagan attached, you're, of course, going to have these super high expectations. But you got to keep in mind, this is the first film from a filmmaker, and it's on a super limited, small budget. And so I knew all that going in. I had talked to Cody Leach about it because he was able to see it in New York a week or two ago. He was able to fly out there and meet with Chris and get to see it. And he has a video out on his channel. So if you want to see kind of a really cool video about the behind the scenes and whatnot, and when Cody saw the movie, definitely go check that out. He interviews Chris for quite a while, and it's just a really well done video. But anyway, this is what Cody told me. He was like, tame your expectations. Don't go into this expecting it to be a game changer or anything like that, basically. He didn't say those exact words, but that was the gist of what he was trying to get across to me. And so I was going in very, just middle of the road expectations. And I gotta say, I was super impressed with this movie. It is really, really fun and creepy and genuinely scary at times. It's well written. The performances are fantastic in this. And now I am not also saying it's a game changer. You know, a lot of people are going to go into this and not be blown away by it or be like, yeah, it was mid or whatever. There's going to definitely be a wide variety of opinions on this movie, but I think especially for a first film by a filmmaker, like, this is something special. Like, it's got some great cameos in it. The locations, the shot choices, the way Chris shot it and put this movie together in general, it's just really, really well done. And he not only wrote this, he directed it and produced it. So really, Chris Stuckman did this movie. And man, I am really impressed with especially the way the movie looks. Like, the creative choices on everything from the style of how this movie kind of starts out found footage and then transitions into a normal type of movie. And I heard that and I kind of thought, oh, that may not really work. But it actually works really, really well. And I haven't seen very many movies do this in such a smooth way to where it transitions in a very naturalistic way. So, yeah, very impressed with that.
I've been searching for Riley for the last 12 years. I know my sister's not dead.
And then there's some creepy supernatural designs and things, you know, the big bad, so to speak, the elements of supernatural that are in this. I love how they look. I think those are unique and interesting. Just the movie in general, it's a really fun movie. It's very creepy. Definitely creepy. And it has a real atmosphere to it that I thought was really enjoyable. It feels like a Halloween time of year movie, which is something I really liked about it too. And especially that it's getting released in October. I feel like it's a perfect movie for that time of year. It's not, the movie itself isn't take place on Halloween or anything like that, but just you could tell that Chris is a big fan of horror, and he's a fan of old school horror. And that's not to say it's campy or anything like that, but you can feel that he's fans of movies from the 90s, 2000s, you know, that kind of horror, so that it's not a movie that's trying to outsmart The Room. It's not a movie that's trying to be pretentious or anything like that, which is something that a lot of indie filmmakers do with their first movies. They try to be super artsy or whatever. And this is very creative, very artsy, but also just a fun movie, just an entertaining movie, a well put together horror movie, period. I mean, it's very much a horror movie. This isn't an art house film or anything like that, but it still does have the creative elements, the artistic elements, visuals, things like that to it as well. So it's got a really great balance, I think. So I think a lot of you guys are going to really enjoy it. I know there's going to definitely be a number of people that are not fans of it, and that's fine. I'm just giving you my opinion, and at least from what I've seen at Fantastic Fest so far, it's definitely one of the best, maybe the best. Once I set on it for a little while, you know, we'll see where I end up ultimately landing on it, on as far as like how I rank the movies. But definitely one of the most entertaining horror movies as far as this year in general, not just at Fantastic Fest, but in general. And the feel and vibe and mood, just like I said, feels perfect for the Halloween season. So yeah, definitely get out to the theater in October and check this one out. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. It's definitely a popcorn watch, but also not a turn your brain off at the door movie either. It's got substance as well as being a good, fun, entertaining time. But that's my quick and dirty from my car at Fantastic Fest on day 3. It's early in the day. I'm about to go see a number of movies, including Beast of War, The Strangers Chapter 2, and then the one I'm really, really looking forward to, and the one that I'm probably the most excited about at this so far, and that's The Black Phone 2, which is later on in the evening tonight. So it's going to be a big day, but yeah, keep tuned to this channel. I'm going to keep dropping these individual reviews. I'm going to try to do a review of most, if not all, the movies that I see this week. But definitely go out and support indie film and check out Shelby Oaks when it's released in theaters this coming October.